Okay, abusuya lawyer Martin Pebu ababe drop a latest update B. Abusuya sa update we. Aha, gossip politics. So unsubscribe, subscribe, like, and hit it on the notification bells and any update be a dropping on. Once a bit to me akabi. Na lawyer Martin Pebu or the same be ababe to Jan and some of the ababe to Jan. Abusuya a year 52.5 billion bia. It's a EOCO. I discover asisiano omo ye investigation say wo ho a enye asem keto akra sa 52.5 billion yi omo move from GCB to an unknown account. Former NPP appointees no cocoa board ho nsensem ya echesa abey ena enono amaya kwako hu say former NPP criminals no appointees ni bi movie 52.5 billion e de free GCB account mu e de akwakoto unknown account abusuya lawyer Martin Pebu and ababe drop esa info we am and na cocoa board hon sense mo me enko na ye nkonko tie and say and some lawyer Martin Pebu e de to dia na unsubscribe subscribe na hit on the notification bells and be any update be ever dropping on onsa e be to me akabi medamase.
Now we are looking forward to EOCO going into the 52.5 billion cedis that moved from GCB to unknown accounts in 2020, close to the elections. So the questions we are asking is that did the previous administration use that money to finance the election? If not, why is Johnson Ekweamoisiedu failing to give the report more than 5 years on? In December 2024, he said he will come out with the report on where the money went. 5 years. He go explain tire. Yeah, he go explain tire. 5 years. He's not able to come out. And we are still sitting here and watching him. So what kind of country is this? That's where he would have lost his job. Pro tanto. He said 52.5 billion left GCB to unknown accounts. And 5 years on, we cannot explain. What kind of country is this? Is it any wonder that we had to go to the IMF? Their names. That is the name of the game. And they say that is because of mischief that everybody has a name. So if you've come and you are issuing a contract midnight for $48 million, what's the name of that MD? We would mention anybody who thinks that's politicization, that's that person's cup of tea. You can choose not to mention the person's name when it's your turn. But you can't sit here and say that it is politicization. What do you mean by it is politicization? You must, no, but before you prosecute, you must first beat the matter here. You have to beat and beat it here. No, you would beat. Yeah, so deal with it.
Let me listen to counsel, gentlemen, please. No, please. Gentlemen, hold on. Dr. Tokuno, please. Your microphone is off. Honorable Apia Kube. Thank you, gentlemen. Please, let Lawyer Martin Pebu. I'll come to you. No. Counsel,
yeah, so the previous MD, is that Bawumia Edu? Yes. Bawumia Edu must be hauled. He must answer why he was doing midnight contract. If you lost an election, shamefully, go home. You are mismanaging. And yet that's the time you were issuing contract. That's the time you were issuing contract. So Bawumia Edu, we will mention his name. If Kofi doesn't like it, well, that's his cup of tea. No, because we have to talk, because yes.
To raise this call to answer, but if you want the politics, since you brought
it will always be politics.
Okay, thank you.
Is dead. You cannot kill cocoa board and let the elite cocoa farmers. I know about 1,000 of them. Let them run it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen.
As long as
let him end this point.
Condition officers run it from Accra.
You have to hold on to that point.
So Bawumia Edu, wherever you are today, we are mentioning your name here. You would have to answer for your 48 million LC when you had shamefully lost an election and you were asked to exit. You would answer. That's it. Now, go to number 2.
Yes.
You see, so as we're dealing with accountability, there's this point we must bring in as we go on. I hear people talking about, yes, we'll reform the management, etc. There's this interesting bit of cocoa board, the history. You know, at a point, Kwame Nkrumah wanted higher prices. You see the silos in Tema, etc.
Yeah.
Then he built them because he intended to hoard about 200,000 metric tons of cocoa. He wanted to manipulate the prices the farmers were upset, and the World Bank, you know how this Bretton Woods institutions, the moment we want to get out of their control, they will find everything to come and criticize us. So the World Bank say, oh, no, it's not doable. Of course, is it any wonder that America sponsored Kwame Nkrumah's overthrow, then it left. So let's bring it in. So the matter of management, we've been trying. It's not as if we never tried. Kwame Nkrumah saw the problem, and he thought that, okay, if he can hoard cocoa, prices will go up. So he built silos. They said we spent about $8,500,000 building the silos. They became a white elephant, right? Yes, so let's learn from our history. So it's not just about changing management. It's also about prosecuting the offenders. So Bawumia Edu must answer. Look, if appear could be your case is that Opuni's case must go back to court, why not? Of course. When someday you come back, criminal cases have no expiry date. If you have evidence, because that's the name of the game. Because listen, before, as Opuni's case was in court, etc., I know people who saw the dossier and said that Opuni's charges were politically motivated. And it wasn't long, we caught the Attorney General on tape confessing that Akuffo Addo and Oforiatta were on his neck, saying they should get Akuffo in jail, etc. Okay, look at ACMS case. ACMS case, the same thing. Yes. Okay. So when you come, I'll be your cheerleader if only you have evidence. When you come back someday, if you have evidence, I'll be here to support you. That go back and arrest those people and go back to court. Right? Yes, that's for those that, there is a difference between withdrawal and nolli prosequi. Nolli prosequi, you can go back. But when it's a withdrawal, they are taking carton. So I don't remember which ones are pure nolli prosequi and the other one. But granted that Opuni's own is one that is pure nolli prosequi, and so you can go back. If you have the evidence, go and let's see. Because I have seen credible people who saw the dossier and saw that this was just a witch hunt. Okay? So if you have evidence, when it's your turn, go back. But until then, today is Bawumia Edu's head on the chopping board. Okay? Yes, we will mention it 1,000 times. That is how we will deal with it. Because if we don't start with the court of public opinion, how are we going to energize the politicians to take action? Otherwise, it will be you scratch my back, I scratch your back. So let's understand this. It's when the citizens understand what's gone wrong, then they show the furore, etc. Then it galvanizes the politicians to take action. So if you come and sit, you don't mention Akuffo Addo's name, you don't mention Bawumia Edu's name, you've said nothing. Or even
but exactly. Does the politician need any galvanization?
Yes, they do.
Why? If there is reason to prosecute or to investigate, go ahead and do it. I mean, why do I have to energize you?
Politicians have always needed galvanization. See, let's not make the mistake. Even when you read about democracy, even when you read about democracy from ancient Greece, societies have always been like this. A lot of the time, see, when you look at the political system, don't forget that the politician has certain interests. He wants to win. So he's looking to the populace. What concerns them most, generally, there are exceptions.
Right.
So he would attempt to answer the needs, the concerns of the populace. So when the populace bay for the blood of somebody who issued an LC for $48 million midnight when he was supposed to exit, that is what the politician will tackle, because in the scale of preference, the citizens are saying that prosecute Bawumia Edu. That's what he will tackle. So if you sit here and they follow public opinion, it's all about public opinion. That's where the politicians usually derive their legitimacy from. So if public opinion is that Bawumia Edu must be prosecuted, then that is what they will deal with. Because, you see, and let's not forget, democracy is crowd wisdom. We all know that our politicians don't know all of it. So that's how come they will listen to all these programs and see what the populace are saying. So if the populace say is Bawumia Edu the one prosecuted today, that is what the politician will pay attention to. So if you come and sit here, you say, no, don't mention anybody's name, don't do this. You've said nothing. Effective communication. Effective communication. Anybody who thinks by mentioning somebody's name, it is defamation, he knows where to go. That's why the law courts are there. You see. Okay. So let's get on with it, okay?
Right.
Yeah. So the
sorry, please.
I hope I have a minute to run up. Yes. So the matter of the 333,000 metric tons that the previous government locked in at $2,600 per metric ton.
And the books that Randy Abe showed us last week were there prior to this moment. Did we have to wait for this moment to be told the rot or the situation that was inherited as has been described?
Oh, no, I don't think we had to wait for this moment. And actually, when they took over, this matter of the 48 million LC, the story came over about a year ago.
So what action had been taken until now?
That is where.
The action of investigating and then also the probe. That now the
so
finance
we've said it over and over that perhaps to make oral more effective, more efficient, we will need to recruit more investigators, more prosecutors. That one is very clear. You know, Dr. Ayino is doing an excellent job, but it's also clear that the cases are too many. Because this $48 million, they say, if you Google it, you see that in 2025, the story broke. And we're upset. We're extremely upset, etc. But no investigations began. I can imagine, because there's a long line of cases. Even in the oral report, we had about 2,500 complaints, right? Of course, not all of them had enough facts to support. But the point is that even what we submitted under ORA, we've not finished investigating those. So when you're adding more, so it's clear that, Dr. Ayine, this morning, what we'll be begging for is that you need to ramp up your men. Yes, more recruitment, because when you increase the number of investigators, number of prosecutors, then we can get all these cases to court. Because the impunity is too much. The impunity is too much. When I listened to the MPP press conference, I was like, so you cause a problem, like what did they say to call you guys? That's a bed. It goes down the street. It goes to foil the water, and then comes to say, who foiled the water? You've caused a problem. Instead of it to come with a contrite heart to be conciliatory in trying to solve the problem, now you are grandstanding. So I was like, Adam and the rest, are they really serious? Are we kids? So you think we didn't see through that when we voted you out? You see, give us a bit of respect. Credit her to some modicum of intelligence. We saw through all that. We saw that MPP was badly mismanaging this country. That's why we sacked you. So you don't gain any points when you've caused a problem and we are trying to fix it, and then you come and do grandstanding. You come with a conciliatory approach. You see, your tone is everything. You come, okay, first of all, you admit your own role in the mess. When you want us to listen to you, you first admit the 333,000 metric tons were locked in at 2,500. It was a huge mistake. The moment Adam says such a thing, say, okay, hey, today you are being man enough. You are man enough to accept your mismanagement. They say, yes, but that notwithstanding, government is a continuum. We would help. This is how we think we should go about it. You don't admit your own mismanagement, then you start doing grandstanding.
Well, they talked about some IMF arrangement, which is one of the areas we'll get into. But, Mr. Adimado, for you, in the end, it is you getting your money.
Correct.
Being paid. That is what is the most important, is it not?
Correct. So, thank you, and thanks to viewers. I would like the panelists to take time, listeners to, I came with a graph.
Okay.
So that I'll look at that. We are here because of the cocoa sector reforms. Last week, we had a press conference. There has been engagement. Farmers are being paid. Our money is being paid.
The payments have started?
So overview.
No, let's confirm.
Yes.
Have you confirmed that farmers have started receiving their money?
As on one of the studios, a farmer called in that he has received his money. Okay. It's not the entire farmers that have not been paid. So there's transfer going on.
Some 50,000, we understand.
Yes. So let me go over to the graph, the overview of our cocoa sector. Now, this is a 20-year data. Producer price against terminal price, the percentages. I've left the 10 years because of the syndication. Now, when you look at the graph carefully, you could see that there are few pointers where the farmer got 70% of the terminal price. Now, when you look at the graph, from 2021, we started having crisis. Then, 2025, we went up above the terminal price. Now, going up above the terminal price, meaning we have overpriced ourselves out of the market. And this is what has brought us here, that we need to reform. we need to go back to look at our cocoa sector. Now, when I've explained the role of the LBCs, when you just oppose the role of LBCs in this graph, it doesn't change it. So I will stick to the farmer aspect. Now, when you look at 2023, 2026, I would like you to zoom in. When you look at it, now you could see that there is a problem. The farmer is dropping to almost 21% of the terminal price. And this is what we've done to our cocoa farmers for 20 years. 20 continuous years. This is what the data is saying.
It's a big problem indeed. And so the continuously the cocoa farmer is losing.
Yes, this is what we've been saying. Now, thanks to Minister of Finance for taking the bold initiative that we need to reform the cocoa sector. And thanks to government for listening to us, and also thanks to the management of Cocoa Board for cooperating with us. Because when you look at the posture of Randy, he wants the sector to be reformed, and that is where we need to support him, congratulate him, because he's one of the few. Please go back to the graph, the green one.
You can speak.
Yes, he's one of the few CEOs that have admitted that we need to reform our cocoa sector. Now, the reforms, of course, the farmer is central, where the minister indicated that never again would the farmer receive less than 70% of the terminal price. Now, when you look at that phrase, it is not only the farmer, it is the entire cocoa space. So, of course, some of the panelists were saying, oh, you don't need Cocoa Board. You need Cocoa Board. You need all the actors in the cocoa chain, because the reform will comprise all Cocoa Board, processors, even the buyers will have to come in. So, please, we need to set that platform. Yes, the farmers are the pillar. That's why I have this graph for the farmers, where the farmer will be better off. Of course, it's unfortunate that prices, you could see that producer price is above even the terminal price, and that is what has brought us down. And then the minister quickly indicated that we need to reform cocoa sector. Now, when you look at the cocoa activities as LBCs, there is no break in our activities, because the cocoa season opens 1st October of every year, and then it ends 30th September of every year. So I would say our break is just less than 24 hours. And within this space, we have been at the forefront of making sure we mobilize the cocoa wherever it is and deliver to Cocoa Board for Cocoa Board to sell. And as I keep on saying, we've been doing this continuously without any cry or whatever it is. And we go to the banks, we borrow, we pre-finance, we patiently wait for Cocoa Board to give us the money. Now our margins are fixed. Our margins are fixed. The transportation is also fixed. So for you to survive, it's efficiency. So if we are being efficient to survive, and inefficiency comes from the other end, then you know that you will collapse. And this is what has resulted in the collapse of more of the local LBCs. Because as we try to be efficient, we get the inefficiency from the other side. And we believe that the cocoa sector reform will address all these aspects. Now, it has been indicated that, yes, we'll process 50% of our beans, and then
okay, abusuya we ne ensema ekoso e political highway so lawyer Martin Pebu e na yete nka se odesa ensem no tudwa e de amaya enye asem keto akra beda mase samaje pe na kokoti sa ensem wi e de mai aha e gossip politics TV so. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so na be any update be a drop no won so won sa e betumi akabi beda mase.